When it comes to businesses, all businesses, large or small, all successful businesses, there's something that they all have in common. That thing is the owner, the manager of that business has to have the ability to anticipate, to look into the future and go, ooh, we need to make changes, take advantage of this or cut back on that. They've got to have that ability to anticipate and make changes. Same thing with you and me. If we want to be successful human beings and prosper in the future, we have to look ahead. We have to anticipate those changes and then make whatever adjustments might be necessary. Well, let me tell you something. The RV industry right now is making a lot of changes, a lot. They're looking ahead and look, I've watched the stock market and I am seeing a downward trend with many companies, big time, especially with the RV industry. Where's that going? What do those people know that we don't know? Well, to find out a little bit about what's going on behind the curtain, so to speak, I sat down recently with my friend Kevin Frazer from Cheyenne Camping Center, who is so smart, helps me be a whole lot smarter. I wanted to share some of that interview with you. Now stick around till the end because I'm going to give you one little piece of advice, maybe my biggest piece of advice if you are in the market for a new RV. How are these world events affecting the manufacturers? You said that precious metals, nickel is a component of making stainless. How are they adapting to that? Because they can't make it without those products.
Well, let's use stainless. What do we use stainless for? Our stainless components aren't critical. They're cosmetic. So all of our appliances are going to be enameled. You're not going to have any more stainless appliances. Or we're going to use a stainless lookalike that's actually a thermoplastic. That's how we'll deal with it. How do the car guys deal with it? That's impossible. They don't have a substitute for stainless in their exhaust systems and such. And so we'll just back out of that segment. Now, we don't have a substitute for aluminum. Think in an RV how many different ways aluminum is used.
Ooh.
So we're going to be in a bad way on aluminum, but other prices are stabilizing. Timber, the only impediment we got to lumber product prices is we still are treating our Canadian trading partners poorly. There's a tariff on lumber imports from Canada. Why? Anyway, that'll sort itself out too because it's too stupid to be in place. I think we're looking at a stable price environment. But geez, the numbers that come in soon are going to be really scary on a national level.
Isn't it true that dealers, you and other dealers, have to look ahead in your crystal ball, make projections on sales, and you order months and months ahead of time based upon what you think is going to happen next year? And last year you had such shortages that some dealers maybe got overly optimistic and ordered too much product for this year. Do you see a glut of product coming on the market?
No glut of product in the calendar year 22. I don't see it. They haven't been able to keep up with it. And when orders have been canceled by dealers who were in financial trouble, the product was instantly snapped up by other dealers. So right now, we do not have anything that looks like a glut in inventory. Now, as far as projections, we like to sell the camping trailers. You know those tent trailers? I am signing in product right now that was ordered 15 months ago.
Wow.
And that's not weird. So you say, are you planning way ahead? Well, our firm always planned 6 months ahead, and we were told we were outliers. Now, if you plan 12 months ahead, you're a little slow.
Going back to what you said earlier about the value of used RVs is plummeting. It's going down rapidly. What is that going to do for financing for buyers? And to banks as well, because it sounds like to me banks have treated RVs almost like a piece of real estate, which it's not, and that they maybe lent more than the RV is worth, and now it's going to be worth even less than the collateral. I mean, the collateral is going to be less than the note that's going to be owed on it. How's that going to be affecting people?
In the last 100 days or so, the lenders have become very stringent when it comes to collateral value on RV loans that are secured by used RVs. It took them a year to notice, but suddenly they came to the conclusion that they were collateralized only to a fraction of the value of the loan, the face of the loan. So used RVs need a lot bigger down payment now, and they're not trusting the so-called NADA book value anymore, and they've tightened up credit a lot. And your listeners should know that we're in a rising interest rate environment, and I expect that to continue for all of 22.
But what's going to happen with these people that are so upside down? They owe way more than their RV is worth. I mean, do you see that often there at Cheyenne? People coming in, they owe 40 on an RV that may be worth 25 or 30, and that seems to be something that I think we're going to be seeing more of.
That happens every day, and we didn't do it to people, so we've got. Sometimes we get yelled at anyway, but we've tried to convince people that they shouldn't borrow 100%, but there are dealers that were loaning 100% on excess values and then tacking on very expensive intangible assets. If one of my customers comes in and they say, well, we've got this $30,000 loan, and I said, well, it's only worth about $15,000. How long have you had it? Well, we bought it used 10 months ago. First question I ask them, did you buy an extended service protection plan with it, a so-called extended warranty? And if you paid more than $2,000, get a refund on that policy. It's your legal right. Get that money back. But other than that, you're pretty much stuck. Now, people say to me, if we have a downturn in the RV industry, doesn't it mean a lot of people that own RVs right now are going to look for the exits and try to sell them? But they're going to owe more money than they can get out of the market.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to have the effect of not flooding the market. So anybody that bought their RV at a right price and owes less than it's worth has the security of knowing that a flood of used goods is not going to enter the market and crash the values completely.
Yes, however, not to be negative here, but just to be realistic, there's a lot of people, way too many people, in my opinion, that are upside down. They may just say, here are the keys, come back and get your RV. I'll suffer my credit will go to hell, but I can't afford it. I'll go upside down on it and give it back.
That happened in 2008. Famous case out in California. The dealer went bankrupt too, and over 100 motorhomes and fifth wheels were parked on the defunct dealership was locked up by the sheriff, and over 100, mostly motorhomes, were parked by the side of the road with the keys in the ignition. People just walked away from them. Yeah. Now that's spooky, isn't it? We hope that doesn't happen again, but that happened in 08, and if we have a recession like 08, there might be some dealers that have, part of the problem there was those people had bought those extended service protection plans, and that dealer no longer existed, and it was one that they fronted. It wasn't an independent, so there was nobody to pay those claims. So people felt they'd been gypped, but their credit was trashed.
You know, the market is changing big time. Look at the stock market. We are on a downward trend, and the future does not look good, at least in my opinion. I'm not a financial analyst, but I'm just looking at the tea leaves, and I don't like what I'm seeing. My advice, there's never been a more important time to do business with honest people. If you're going to buy an RV, buy from somebody who is honest, who has a good reputation, a long-term history of treating people right. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy learning things from Kevin Frazer like I do, post your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have a question that you'd like Kevin to answer, feel free to post it. I promise you, he's not afraid of anything. All he knows is the truth, and he has a half century of experiences. All right, I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.